Something feels different before you can explain it. Not louder, not obvious, just off. And that's the part most people ignore because nothing dramatic happened, no argument, no clear reason, but your brain noticed something shift. And here's the question you don't ask out loud. Why do some people affect you this deeply without trying? Why do they stay in your mind, even in silence? That's not random. Your brain is constantly scanning patterns, attention patterns, emotional patterns, behavior patterns. When someone enters your life and disrupts those patterns, your system reacts not logically, but biologically. Dopamine changes, focus narrows, your attention locks in. And suddenly, you're paying more attention than usual to small things, tone, pauses, absence. That's where it starts. Not in love, not in destiny, but in attention. And if you've ever felt that shift, pause here for a second. Comment, "I felt this," if you've experienced it. Like the video if this already makes sense. Subscribe if you want to understand what most people miss. And share this with someone who won't say it out loud, because what comes next explains everything. Your brain hates uncertainty. It wants patterns it can predict. So when someone breaks your expectations, your mind tries to solve it. You start thinking more, replaying moments, analyzing behavior. That creates emotional intensity. Not because the person is special, but because your brain is trying to close the gap. And here's where it gets deeper. Some people don't just break patterns. They expose them. Your reactions, your insecurities, your emotional triggers, things you didn't notice before. Because your brain is not reacting to them, it's reacting to what they reveal. This is where perspective changes. It's not about them anymore. It's about what happens inside you. Why did that silence bother you? Why did that distance feel personal? Because your brain linked them to something deeper, a memory, a need, a fear. And now you're not just reacting to a person, you're reacting to your own internal patterns. That's why it feels confusing, because part of you is aware and part of you is not. This creates tension. You feel pulled in, but also uncomfortable. Curious but defensive, connected but unstable. And most people misinterpret this. They think intensity means importance, but intensity often means activation. Something inside you was triggered, and now your system wants resolution. So you stay focused, you keep thinking, you keep feeling, even when nothing is happening. That's not coincidence. That's your brain trying to complete something unfinished. And here's the critical shift. You have two options: chase the person or understand the pattern. If you chase the person, you stay dependent on their behavior. If you understand the pattern, you gain control over your response. And that changes everything. Because now you stop asking, "What are they doing?" and start asking, "What is this showing me?" That's where growth begins. Not in the connection itself, but in what it reveals. Some connections don't come to stay. They come to expose, to interrupt your automatic behavior, to force awareness, to make you notice things you ignored. And that's uncomfortable because awareness removes illusion. You start seeing your habits, your emotional reactions, your need for validation, your fear of loss. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's why some people feel overwhelming. They don't add something new. They reveal something already there. And that's the moment most people avoid, because it requires responsibility, not over them, over yourself. And if you stay, if you observe, if you stop reacting automatically, you start changing. Your attention becomes more stable, your emotions become more regulated, your reactions become more intentional. That's the real outcome, not the relationship, the awareness. And here's the final truth. Not every connection is meant to last, but the awareness stays. That's the value. So if someone affected you deeply, don't just ask why them. Ask what changed in you, because that answer will follow you longer than they will. And that's where real control begins. And once you see it clearly, you stop chasing confusion. You stop needing answers from outside, because you understand what was happening inside you. That's when everything shifts. Not your situation, not the other person, you. And from that point on, You don't react the same way again. You notice faster. You understand deeper. You choose better. That's real control. If this made you see something differently, subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss what's next. And share this with someone who needs to hear it. See you in the next video.